thinking about and filling that out as I kind of give you the updates on what's been going on with the Community Police Commission. Can everybody hear me? Anyone needs one? Can everybody hear? Yes. Okay, good. Okay, so the Cleveland Community Police Commission was sworn in September 8th, 2015. Where are we? As you know, or may not know, we had to develop the Community Police Commission from scratch. There are 13 members in a room with some mandates and a consent decree, and it was up to us to kind of think about infrastructure, to think about structure, to think about process, how we were going to do the work, how we were going to hold meetings, what meetings we were going to hold, all of those kinds of things. Now, we had certain mandates, and we have certain mandates within the consent decree that's guiding our work, but in terms of everything else, we had to kind of develop that. So we're kind of 2 months or more in to the process, and still working on infrastructure, still working on structure, still working on process, as we also try to do what is mandated of us, which is the policy recommendation work. So I just need to put that out there up front to let you know that we're moving, but we're moving with some with some heavy lifting to do as a part of the work in terms of just getting things in place. So the commission, we have 3 co-chairs. The co-chairs are Craig Boyce, Mario Clopton, and myself. And we also have a website, so you can get some of this information up on the website. It just went live about a week and a half ago. There are 13 commissioners. All of them are volunteers. No one is getting a stipend at this point. We are working with lone staff, so we don't have our own staff yet. This is one of the things that we're pushing for, to have independent staff and asking for as part of a budget proposal that we've put forward. But right now, I just want to let you know we're working on lone staff. So they have their day jobs, we have our day jobs, and we're trying to move forward with work. We have no formal budget established yet, but we are able to spend some minor dollars here or there to try to get the work for printing and other such sundry things. Hopefully we'll have a full budget next year, but we're going through that kind of budgetary process right now. We did not have as much notice as we would have liked to actually turn around the budget, and so that's again one of the heavy lifting moments that we're engaged in right now, just trying to move through it and keep the process moving and do some good work. The website is clevelandcpc.org. clevelandcpc.org. So you can go there, you can find out who all the commissioners are, what the committees are, where the meetings are. As soon as we develop the meetings, we put them up online, where the locations are for the meetings. The email that you can email us at to ask us questions is info@cpc.org, and that's actually on the questionnaire that I gave you. Our phone number is 216-755-4CPC. We have a Twitter handle. I know nothing about that. That's Mario Clopton, who does the social media stuff. But the Twitter handle is @216CPC. And if you go to our website, you'll see the agendas and the meeting minutes online. So if you have not been able to come to the open meetings that we've had thus far, you can actually get the agenda and you can get the meeting minutes to kind of follow what's been going on. So what I want to talk about really quickly in terms of giving you an update too is sort of the structure and the process that we've developed so far. So we have, our meetings are open and public, okay? So we have several types of meetings. And many of us push for this because of transparency and accountability and community input. It's a Cleveland Community Police Commission. The idea is, one of our mandates is to improve community police relations. One of our ideas is to build community trust and to build legitimacy and to build confidence. In addition to the heavy lifting work that we have to do around providing policy recommendations around, for instance, the Police Review Board, around, for instance, bias-free policing, around, for instance, training, around, for instance, use of force, and a whole other slew of kinds of mandates that we have that we have to do as the commission. So we said we need to have open and public commission meetings. So we have full commission meetings where we conduct our regular business, just like a quote-unquote city council would conduct its regular business. You see things happen, you see things unfolding, you see debates unfolding. It's the 2nd and 4th weeks of the month right now. So twice a month. These will move throughout the city, so that's why it's important to kind of check in with the website. And once we know where the locations are, we're working on the first quarter of next year now. We get them up on the website. They're 5:30 to 8:30 p.m. They're usually on a Wednesday. I just want to invite everybody to kind of continuously come, invite people to come, be in the room, be a part of the conversation. At the end of each of our meetings, we actually have a 30-minute comment period. We thought that was important, not just to open up the meetings and say they're public and you can come, but that there's a moment where you can actually say something and give us feedback and comment after we've conducted the regular business. At our last meeting, November 11th, which we had in Cadell, we actually switched because of where we were, right? And the importance of where we were. So we opened up actually with a 90-minute expanded public comment period. But usually we conduct the regular business and then we have a 30-minute public comment period at the end. So our public meetings have been October 14th, October 28th, and November 11th. Thus far, all of the agendas and minutes are up online, except for the November 11th meeting. We have to approve those at the next meeting. Because of the holidays, the last two meetings of the year will be on December 3rd. These are Thursdays, December 3rd and December 17th. The meeting dates are already online, so you can find them online. So that's one kind of meeting, full commission meetings, where we conduct the regular business with a 30-minute comment period at the end. Then we're going to have town hall and forums consistently and regularly. The goal is to try to have them once a month. They may vary just depending on what other activities are going on and what the needs are in terms of getting community feedback. And the town hall forums are different from the full regular commission meetings in that the script is flipped, right? So we might have 30, 40, 45 minutes, maybe 30 minutes of opening, and really it's about listening to community, right? It could be if we're working on police review board, if we're working on bias-free, if we're working on some particular policy recommendation, really to get your feedback and also just to listen to what it is you have to say to us, right? So there's the full regular commission meetings where we do regular business in public. We got 30-minute comment period. Then there's the town hall forums that we will have where we flip the script and really it's about us listening to you. The first one was November 16th in Antioch. It was very, very thinly attended, but that's okay because it was short notice and we're going to get better given the staff we have. We're on lone staff and we all have day jobs, getting the word out much sooner so that people have advance notice. This is something that we know we have to work on and we'll continue to work on. At that meeting, we discussed the police review board. People had questions. The people who came had questions about the police review board and gave us feedback on the police review board, what they would like to see it look like, what kinds of questions they had just about how it operates, also the Office of Professional Standards and bias-free policing. And the next town hall will probably be in February as soon as we know, because of the holidays, as soon as we know we'll get that up online. So that I mentioned two already. I'm going to tell you a third kind of meeting, right? All open to the public, okay? So the first was the full regular commission meetings, the second was the town hall forums, and the third are work groups, okay? So the work groups are formed to get specific work done. This is where we'll do deep dive research, have deep kind of conversation and dialogue. We'll look at different models, depending on what the issue is. We'll get community input. At each stage of the work thus far, we are working to build in space for community. There are those of us who are arguing for this. The group has moved towards this end to really create these multiple spaces where along the way we can continue to get community input. We've also discussed for these work groups that we are able to appoint up to 3 community members who bring some level of expertise from either subject expertise or experiential knowledge, which means everyday living knowledge that can help us move the work forward. These will be some of the worker bees. They will be appointed by majority vote of the work group members who are on the commission. We will also be inviting people to share with us testimony. We might ask certain people, depending on what the issue is, to come and ask them some questions so that we can get their feedback and input. And these work group meetings are also open to the public. So at some point in the work group meetings, after all this is done, we'll also allow public comment and feedback and input as well. So now these work groups will provide the ideas to the full policy and procedures assessment committee. They sit underneath a policy and procedure assessment committee, which will then draft like a final document, say it's the police review board charter amendments. They'll get the feedback from the work group. They'll get the feedback from the community, from the various community forums, wherever they're getting feedback, like, fill out your questionnaires. That's what I say, fill out your questionnaires. whatever feedback we get, we'll look at that, we'll assess it, and then we'll develop our recommendations. And mind you, we give recommendations. We do not have implementation power. So while we're building all of this in community at every level, which is important, we need you to come to the meetings. We need to be able to say to some of the committee members we had. We need to say, we've been able to get some anecdotal questionnaire comments. We need to say this came from such and such and such and such. And at the end of the day, once we put our policy recommendations forward, if you agree with them, and if you don't, then you need to be active in that way too, right? So really trying to focus on making sure we have full community engagement and input, and that everyone understands that the CPC has recommendation power, not implementation power, that it's not a panacea, it's a tool to be leveraged, and I want everyone in community to leverage it, and that people in community have to stay engaged in these circles as well as with the work that the Community Police Commission is doing as well. So I'll come back to the other committees in a moment. I mentioned the Policy and Procedure Assessment Committee. These work groups will stay in place until the work gets done. So, if we have a certain kind of recommendation that we have to provide, some policy recommendation that we have to provide, once it's been provided and that work is done, complete on that, then it will dissolve and we will create another work group, right? So these work groups are kind of, they stay in place as long as we need them, and then they dissolve when we form other ones. We have 3 work groups thus far. This is up online as well. They are the Police Review Board. I'll allow the questionnaire that you have that I would love you all to fill out and give to me before you leave. So we have the Police Review Board. I'm the actual chair of the Police Review Board work group. We have Bias-Free Policing work group, and Lee Fisher is the chair of that work group.
What is it called again?
Bias-Free Policing.
Oh.
It's a major component of the work that we have to do, particularly within a 90-day time frame in the consent decree.
Bias-free policing.
Bias-free.
Bias-free. Bias-free. Bias. B-I-A-S. Free. Bias-free.
Free.
Yes. And then use of force. A use of force work group, which has not started its work yet, but has been formed so that we can begin to get structure and people in place to be a part of that work. The Police Review Board work group, I want to let you know, is having a meeting this coming Tuesday, 11/24, from 9 to 11 a.m. at Karamu House. Again, it's open. The Bias-Free Policing work group is having a meeting on Monday, December 7th at 5:30 p.m. I'm not sure where yet. It should be up on the website soon once they update the website. So the impending deadlines, I want to talk about the Police Review Board just a moment. The impending deadlines are coming up really quickly for the Police Review Board policy recommendation that we have to provide in terms of the charter amendment, providing some recommended language for the charter amendment to really promote transparency in the selection and appointment of Police Review Board members. You have the actual language on the front of your questionnaire that is pulled directly from the consent decree to give you a sense of what the mandate in the consent decree is. As we are trying to address the mandate in the consent decree regarding the Police Review Board, we have also been trying to take a comprehensive look at what the charter says about the Police Review Board and the Office of Professional Standards, which is Chapter 25, Section 115, to see if there are other recommendations that we can make simultaneously with what is explicitly mandated to make it much more effective, transparent, and accountable in terms of the work that the Police Review Board does. Again, we're a recommendation body, and we're going to propose these recommendations at our October 28th meeting. We went through every section because we developed a working draft of some of the ideas that we have. We've made no final decisions yet on what we will recommend, but we walked through 115.1, 115.2, 115.3, 115.4, and we went line by line, walking through some of the ideas we had, some of the questions we had, where the mandate appeared in the consent decree, and what are the things that we thought we might want to consider. And so we will continue to do that. We are waiting on the city to provide us with their ideas for the charter amendment, because in the consent decree it says the mayor in consultation with the Cleveland Community Police Commission and City Council. So we are waiting to see what they will propose. In the meantime, we are doing the work and trying to do the deep dive, best practices, research, models, what kinds of things we want to see in terms of selection and appointment, what kinds of other changes we want to see in terms of duties, responsibilities of the police review board, things like training, and other kind of things that don't exist right now in the charter amendment. Okay, so